Similar in that regard to Gennady Golovkin, who sets up his power punching with an
knows that he has a very crafty guy in front of him, so right now he's trying to feint him.
Usyk is such a talent, with such a talent as an amateur, can dominate this division and move up.
Before the opening bell, when asked about his fighting style,
and that he does. Good hook by Mchunu. Mchunu has gotten a little respect early from Usyk. And he can't reach them, but it's not like that's really not the case. Makes it very difficult to reach down to the guy.
Wait, but Orlin Norris is much more conventional than that.
What I like about Usyk is that he's so smart that he hasn't even let us
until it's going to matter.
Until it's going to definitely land.
Remarkable.
Patient, don't be too eager. Work behind your jab, stay outside to your left side. Be patient, don't run into nothing. You're boxing good.
Two guy in Usyk's corner. Did you get a chance to talk to Russ about Usyk?
A guy who he thinks a lot of, thinks very highly of him.
Ukrainian fighters from that Olympic team credit him with the...
He became the trainer, so who else could you credit?
Amazing. Time great fighters having trouble with short, little, awkward guys. Roy Jones with Montel Griffin, who was an excellent fighter, who gave you more problems than you were used to in your first fight with him.
But let me just go into First of all, I was going to let him use his patience. I would use my patience to wear him true, but what it was that he was a counterpuncher just as I was. Counter like he's a tall guy.
Thabiso can't much at all. And Mchunu has been able to. There's a good straight jab by Mchunu. A couple of body shots early. Then Usyk has been able to do.
Yes, he has. Right now he has the lead. See, can he get him some respect?
Summer to take on Krzysztof Lewacki. Fourth the new year in the ring on January 28th with a Boxing After Dark doubleheader featuring Francis Mickey Roman. Francis. 41-year-old Sean Smith with more population, better sparring partners, a chance to improve, and he walked through
doing a good job of leaning back on that back foot.
Max, and that's what also makes it so awkward for a guy like Usyk, because Usyk, he's not showing Usyk anything.
Because when he leads, he's missing and he's out in front.
Target just a little bit more consistently, and Mchunu steps in and fires.
He's not using it enough, Max. Right there you see he's allowing Mchunu for a taller fighter.
There's something about the rhythm or lack of other fighters' timings off, Roy.
Yeah, he fights in a sporadic pace like that. You never know when he's going to just counter behind it.
And wound up getting hit on the cheek by a right.
Regions of the world have their own styles and rhythms to their style. Eastern fighters and maybe also South Africa.
He's a cute boxer. You don't really see that from South Africa. Usually from South Africa, and he's not that type of a guy. He's a James Toney type.
I think also that the world is becoming, the styles are becoming more homogenization of styles, or pollination, sorry, of styles.
I agree, Max. Mchunu coming out on this right hook, constantly landing, give power on him, but just enough, the right jab right there. The right jab again, just enough third time. A short right jab on the way in from the shorter fighter.
And Mchunu so far has landed one more punch, 19%. So the rhythm of the fight early seems to favor or a bazooka like Quartet.
No, it's a...
Round 4 begins. Harold, how did you score the first 3 rounds?
Okay, Jim, I got Thabiso and Mchunu. You know, Jim, in rounds 1 and 2, Usyk opened up. He sort of, got the idea of how in rounds to 1, Thabiso and Mchunu.
Usyk unleashed the left hand in the 3rd round, and he goes into round 4.
Yeah, Jim, but the thing you don't like about it is that right now it looks like that's not a good thing, because there you go, that go a good shot. Now he's throwing a good left hand because he needs to get respect from.
One of the things that Usyk talked about going into this fight, Henko is kind of like that at times nowadays.
Hey, stop.
Doesn't like Mchunu as an opponent because Mchunu is not going to allow you to play around with him. He's going to like that. He's going to be right on top of things. Now, Usyk throwing some real punches.
In the last minute, he's been countering freely and starting to land that left hand, as you saw him.
A good left hand.
He also just threw a left hand that was about a foot short.
When I say he doesn't give you an opportunity to play much.
I thought Usyk may have parried it with his shoulder.
And we remind you while we watch the first of our two preliminary bouts of the Focus 3, he got the call to face Roy Jones for a vacant middleweight title, though he looked moments in Hopkins' illustrious career.
On HBO, under a heavyweight.
Those flashy, fast hands, very, very difficult to deal with.
I didn't deliver my adjustment of that high level of.
It's just outsmarts him. It's like cat and mouse.
There's a pattern in myself and never look back. And I took that fight.
In RFK Stadium in Washington in 1993, and then Roy, the two different kinds of fights. But in the first fight, was his inexperience
my hand speed and my knowledge of the game. I was far more sophisticated as far. He had fought and had a lot of experience, but my
that was a privilege that was not a
that was. But at the same time, when he got out, he was beating a lot of guys who were on the same level, except my hands were quicker.
Meanwhile, Usyk is doing his thing here in the fifth round. Adept at finding the target against Mchunu.
Yes, he's starting to touch and land those big punches.
Something out in the last round, it looks like, that he's employing here. When I'm on my back foot, let me get inside a little bit.
Was backing up and looking at the uppercuts as if to say, this is something you're trying to shock him.
Usyk has to be careful, though, Jim. He's throwing shots that are out to catch a taller southpaw with.
Mchunu's a good fighter, and these are the kind of, these are the rounds where the
power punches in round.
Yeah, Usyk waking up now. Shot by Usyk.
Terrific 1-2. Speed for a big man on that 1-2. It's your fight now for Oleksandr Usyk.
Now he's ready. Double hand like you're going to throw it and fire the right uppercut, then the left hand. Right uppercut.
Usyk with it behind the jab. Find a good enough jab. The double followed by a great straight left over the top. That's what he's been trying to find. Then followed by right.
3 out of 68 punches. Mchunu 6 out of 32 for Usyk. Than the rounds we had seen up to that point. Significant chance that we'll see why there's so much enthusiasm about Oleksandr.
But he's able to land it accurately. On the other hand, because of that, I don't see him.
Until he's assured that he's going to land it, then he turns it over like that. 80 or 90 mile an hour pitch until they find the opening like that. Say, through it right.
And those are the, which in his case would be his exposure. Lomachenko, although, as Max pointed out at the beginning of this, been his trainer since the beginning of his pro career, is no slouch.
No
hand speed and accuracy
for a big guy.
Cruiserweight.
Yes. He just turned the mustard on one of those left hands again, too, Max.
Yep.
Like that right there. Yeah.
He's suddenly a different fighter than the guy we were looking at in the first couple of rounds. With an unimpeded left counter shot, but that's all right. Mchunu has been stopped in both of his losses, and Usyk is throwing freely.
Yes, he let
in round 6.
He let Usyk go around him too.
Mchunu can handle himself, though. Flipping Usyk every now and then enough to stop Usyk and just running. Good left hand.
First knockdown of the fight in this round. A couple of strong shots down the stretch, but overall it was another big round for Oleksandr.
He's going flat out. You hang in there. Where's the spit bucket?
Speaking about the uppercut in the corner, that left uppercut right there is what really caused the knockdown. The trainer Ali asked for early. He asked for landed instead of the right, and that was the shot that really put Mchunu down.
So right to the 7th. Harold Letterman, how do you have it halfway through?
Okay, Jim. I got it 4 rounds to score to knock down. He gets an extra point. So that becomes a 10-8 round in Usyk's favor. But Usyk just does nothing but feel you out for 2 rounds. And then he opened up in the 3rd, and he's been just movement Usyk gives you. He gives you a whole lot of movement, setting up.
Good quick.
Good counter left by Mchunu. Love how Usyk places those punches. He places the taps with tap speed.
At the top levels of boxing, the question is, if you're not, are you giving people something to watch? Now, this has not been, but the answer for me with Usyk is yes, absolutely. He's giving you something. You're a fan of boxing. you will like watching Usyk fight.
Directions and shifting gears the way he does. And his feet. Moves with his upper body. Slips punches with his head. Fight.
Those good pity-pat punches.
And more awkward than Mchunu. And Usyk has already scored 2 rounds.
And the difference in power punches landed proceeds from the fact that greater and greater frequency.
Yeah, I think Mchunu's power's gone, Jim.
I said.
Looking ahead, December 27, it's the premiere of Boxing's Best of 2016's edition of my show, The Fight Game. We review the year in the ring and hand out our...
Take something clean, boy. Come.
Round 8 of Schedule 12. Olympic gold medalist Al Trunks against Thabiso Mchunu of South Africa. But since that time, Usyk has been landing combinations.
Has quick hands for a big man there.
She throws with great frequency. Usyk landing punches in bunches once again. There's him as if to say, the impudence of you landing those 2 counters.
You doing?
This was my moment to put on a show. And you could fight.
Offensive here, he probably could be an issue, but not really throwing a lot of pads and stepping around left and stepping around right. Beautiful boxing that
Straight at Usyk the first 2 or 3 rounds. Since then,
like Mchunu, but see those punches right there, that left hand had.
You're dissuaded from going to the body because it's like, you know, your forearm's going to run into an...
There's not much room there to throw to the body.
So...
Listen. Tell you something. You're a man, he's a man. That's like very beatable. Let me tell you. Yes.
It's trying to survive now. Body shots, start to the body.
See Usyk land a good round left to the back. Tried to look right there. A little bit open hand, but it was beautiful. And he steps back as to say, "Where dang?"
I love the look on his face.
He like he said, "Where dang?"
The nerve of you.
Usyk's a guy who idolizes Muhammad, right? And in and out of the ring idolizes Ali, and showman against an awkward guy.
It's January 17.
A day after mine.
Lots of good fighters right around there. Good body work in this round.
Yes, he is, and good pivoting too. He pivots right down the middle. I love it.
Capricorn is the star.
Well, of course, Jim. I mean, come on. If you're a Capricorn, I mean, if we celebrate, I mean, you know, Capricorns is what it is, you know? Like the most philosophical. Doesn't get any better than that.
And Usyk, a Capricorn in this fight. And the score margin is beginning to widen here.
Yeah, and that's more fatigue than anything.
Yeah. He had him surrounded, and Mchunu said, "Let me get down here before I land the punch."
Good counter shot by Mchunu.
Has it? Oh, good shot. Oh,
Usyk
good
lands
shot.
a big left over the top. Mchunu has done his best fighting of the fight in the last 20 or 30. After going down for the second time, and there's the 3rd knockdown. So Oleksandr Usyk has a TKO victory.
Very impressive performance by Usyk against a guy who wasn't co-op, not easy to hit, with a very awkward rhythm against a guy like that.
And Usyk shows sportsmanship, going over to Harold.
Jim, you know, I've said this to referees, and he gets up and he walks away. Very often, that means he don't want to fight no more. Quit. That's the time when Lumaret should have really thought about stopping it.
Coming in, jab, 1-2 basically. Another 1-2. Double jab, left hand, and he goes down. Really wasn't hit with a shot, just was fatigue. And right there was doing it, so he came in with his last hurrah. Got caught with that left hand right there, and he went down. That put a bad gash over his right eye.
At that time, it was all Joe Martinez for the official particulars on the technical knockout.
Right here, boom, that was the left hand right there that did it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at the official time. Referee Dr. Lou Moret puts a halt to the bout. Your winner by, and still, WBO Cruiserweight Usyk.
So let's take